Hey folks, it's your pal Bobby here, back today with another noodle review. And today we're checking out Samyang's Buldak Spicy Chicken Ramen Carbonara style. And like a nice wedge of cheese there. I'm excited to try this one. I've heard a lot of other people say that this was one of their favorites. I'm curious to see how it matches up with spice. I love Buldak noodles, but some of them are way too spicy if you put in the whole sauce packet. I'm curious if this will be similar or any different. I wish I did have some mushrooms there to put in it. Maybe the flakes packet will have some. We'll find out. This guy certainly looks satisfied. Boy, he looks like he has a full tummy with hearts all around. Man, he's having a good time. Similar instructions. Apply the heat, stir in the stuff. A nice 550. Let's see, how's the sodium? I think a little less than some of the Buldaks I've had recently, but still quite a bit. And made in South Korea, which is kind of cool. Alright folks, I think we're just gonna get right to it. Let's find out if the carbonara style meets my fancy. Alright, those are some fine thick noodles here. I love that about the Buldak noodles when it comes like this. Definitely feel like there's a little bit of a yellowish color to them. Maybe some of that cheese flavor is in the noodles, but I don't think it said that on the package. And inside we have our Buldak sauce and our cheese powder packet. Busting out the Elite Gourmet today. Alright folks, we got our noodles all cooked up. We're going to add the Buldak sauce first. Noticeably less Buldak sauce than usual, but it definitely comes with a big powder packet for the carbonara flavor. And our powder packet. Looks like the powder has some kind of little green in there. Almost looks like dill, to be honest, but I'm not sure. Looking pretty good. Alright folks, I gotta say that looks pretty darn inviting. I'm gonna let it cool off for a little bit, and then we're gonna give it a try. Alright folks, it's cooled off a little bit here, and I think we're ready for our first bite. Lovely orange color on this, a dark orange, and the thick noodles that I have come to love from Buldak. I'm excited to give this a try. Let's just do it, shall we? Very good. A little bit of spice. I'm not sure, but I would almost think that limited amount of sauce might be the normal, like, black label Buldak sauce. The cheese sauce is a nice balance. I can definitely still tell that I've had something spicy, but it's in no way painful or unpleasant. Now let's see after a few more bites how it goes. The one thing is, does it taste cheesy? I'm not sure that it necessarily tastes cheesy. It tastes more creamy than cheesy. Hard to describe. Let's try another bite though. Yes, I think I would say it's more creamy than cheesy. Definitely a little bit of spice to it, but this is excellent, ladies and gentlemen. What more can I say? Like I mentioned before, a lot of the Buldak stuff is just too spicy. I end up only having to put in like half of the sauce packet just to be able to eat it comfortably. This is delicious. I'm just going to enjoy this. I recommend 100%. If you don't like spice, it still might be a little much for you, but it's probably the least spicy Buldak that I've had, and it's very good. Creamy, excellent noodles. Bon appetit. Incredible, ladies and gentlemen. I definitely recommend. It's definitely a little bit of spice to it. My mouth is feeling the spice, but that cream really balances it out. Absolutely delicious. I recommend this 100%. I might have a new favorite Buldak, which is not going to be great for my caloric intake, but it'll be great for my taste buds. Alright folks, that's been our review of the Buldak Spicy Chicken Ramen Carbonara. I loved it. Go get yourself some. Thanks for watching. Hey folks, it's your pal Bobby here, back today with another noodle review. And today we're checking out Samyang's Buldak Spicy Ramen Artificial Spicy Chicken Flavor, Yakisoba. And we have our classic Buldak mascot there, frying up. Got a big old bowl of noodles there, and looking pretty pleased with him or herself. I just never got the chance to try this spicy chicken flavor one before. Got a package of 5 bags. Cooking directions here. What is he up to there? He's looking, I feel like he's whispering to us. Nothing too crazy, just make the noodles, put it in the sauce. The Buldak noodles usually pack a punch per package of 510 calories, which is more than your normal ramen. And of course it has a catastrophic 1630 milligrams, 71% of your daily just from one bag. That is quite a bit, but it's also got 13 grams of protein. Whole lot of ingredients here. It's almost hard to believe that there's this many ingredients in this bad boy. But I think without further ado, let's open up and take a look at the individual package. Alright, here we have one package, and it's pretty much the same as the other packaging, except this time you get a bit of a close-up of what the noodles may look like. I'm thinking maybe the flavor packet might have some dried up cabbage, perhaps? I'm not sure. And I like these little lanterns. I guess that seems to be a part of the Yakisoba feel. I think we're just ready to open this up. Made in South Korea, so you know it's got to be good. And let's just ignore that health warning. I'm not in California, so it doesn't apply. Okay, we got our standard noodles. These actually look a little thinner than the Buldak noodles I'm used to. Got our flake package here, Yakisoba flake package. And yes, this looks to be either lettuce or dried cabbage. And of course we have our Yakisoba sauce, which we'll open when we're ready. Busting out the Elite Gourmet today. Add our flakes. And it's time for the sauce. I love that dark Buldak sauce color. That is a nice dark color broth. I'm gonna let it cool off and hopefully it'll thicken up a little bit. Okay folks, we're back. Things are cooled off a bit. This is looking like a nice bowl of noodles. One thing that's throwing me off, I know I mentioned it, is that these noodles are a little thinner than the Buldak noodles I'm used to. That's not necessarily a bad thing. And these are just really looking good. Got a little bit of broth at the bottom. Maybe we can try that first. Let's see. Just a little bit. Let's give it a taste. Interesting. It's almost like a sweet and spicy. Just that little bit of broth definitely has hit the back of my throat with some spice, and the front of my tongue with some almost like a sugary taste. I was thinking that the flake packets kind of got lost in the mix here, but as you can see, they're kind of all bunched up to the side. I'm going to try to include those as much as I can. I don't think it makes too much of a difference. Enough talking, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to try out the spicy ramen chicken flavor Buldak noodles. Here we go. Interesting. I'm used to Buldak with a little bit more spice to it. It certainly doesn't taste bad, but this is definitely a different kind of Buldak feel than I'm used to. It's definitely very good. The spice is certainly not overwhelming. I'm kind of struggling to express my thoughts here. Well, the little bit of spice is the highlight. These little pieces of cabbage or whatever are actually pretty good. They're not too dry. They've definitely softened up in the water. I'm just trying to think, like, I'm not sure if this really hits me either way. Now, don't get me wrong, it tastes good, but I don't know if it really stands out in one direction. In my past experience, one of the things I love about the Buldak noodles is how thick they are. And these are definitely thinner. And another thing is how spicy the sauce is. Usually when I review the noodles, I always put in all of the sauce, but on subsequent meals, I usually almost put in half. I put the whole one in on this one, and there's a little bit of spice to it, but it's definitely not the Buldak spice I have come to expect. Which might actually be better for you if you're not a spice fan. Okay folks, that was definitely a good bowl of noodles. I think the Yakisoba spicy ramen chicken flavor is more of almost like a layman's Buldak experience, where there's definitely some spice to it. My mouth is on somewhat fire, but it's definitely not as much as I'm used to with Buldak, and the noodles being a little thinner didn't really give me that special Buldak experience. Now granted, I have 4 more of these and I'm definitely going to eat them and enjoy them, but I'm not sure I would probably get this one again. Definitely tastes good. Nothing really to stand out in either direction, but happy to try all the flavors, of course. This one I probably won't try again after I finish the other 4. Well folks, that's been my Yakisoba Buldak Spicy Ramen Spicy Chicken Flavor review. Thanks for watching. Hey folks, it's your pal Bobby here, back today with another noodle review. And today we're checking out Buldak's Spicy Chicken Flavor Ramen. Now you may be saying to yourself, wait a second Bobby, didn't you recently just say you were done with this brand of noodles? That's about half true. We had made several videos on the 2x spicy flavor, but upon a little bit of research, we found out that there's all sorts of flavors of Buldak ramen, and this one might be a little less spicy. I really enjoyed the flavor of the 2x spicy, but it was just too hot. So I'm gonna see if this one is a little more palpable and if the flavor is just as good. A couple things to note, we of course have our lovely character Hoki here. Not really sure how to say his name, but he's breathing a little fire onto the noodles. I really like this black packaging. It's very slick looking. I'm not sure what the black packaging has to do with what's actually inside noodle wise, but I think it just looks really good. Got the instructions on the back, and I probably should have pointed this out. This is actually made in South Korea, which is interesting. Imported by a company in Los Angeles. Same instructions as usual, boil for a while, then add the flakes. So I think we're just gonna open this up and start cooking. Standard Buldak contents, looks like we have the sheet of noodles here. And of course we have our spicy sauce and sesame seed and seaweed flakes. Busting out the Elite Gourmet today. Wasn't gonna waste all those pieces.
time to add the sauce. Can't forget the flakes. That's looking pretty good, folks, if I do say so myself. Doesn't have as dark of a color as the 2x spicy, which I really enjoyed that color, but it has a nice dark tone to it. I think the last thing to do before we eat it, of course, is let it cool off for a few minutes. Okay, folks, we're back, and I've given it quite a good stir. It looks pretty cooled off. And the color, I must say, is I think a little bit better than it was originally. Some of the liquid has kind of either evaporated or incorporated in, and I think there's nothing left to do but give this a try. Really hoping that this is my perfect ramen. The 2x spicy was just a little too spicy, well, quite a bit too spicy, but it had excellent flavor, so I'm wondering if this will be more on the flavor and less on the spice. Here we go. Okay, there's definitely some spice in here. That's the first thing that you taste. At first, it seems just as spicy as the other one, and maybe not as flavorful, which is actually kind of confusing to me. Let's take another bite. Okay, I think I take back the spice comment. It's definitely a little spicy, but it doesn't seem to build as strongly and as potently as the 2x. So I think off the bat, as far as spice is concerned, we're in better shape. It's very good. I love these Buldak noodles. They're so thick. Doesn't matter the flavor, the noodles are always excellent. The flavor is good. I don't feel like it's as flavorful as I wish it was. It's definitely not as spicy as I was fearing. My mouth's on fire just a little bit, but it's a manageable amount. I don't think there will be any recuperation period this time around. The one thing I would say about the flakes is that it's probably more of a visual than anything. I really can't taste, the sesame seed or the seaweed with all the other flavors and spice going on. But it does make it look nice when you sprinkle it on top. So alright, ladies and gentlemen, definitely not going to need any kind of recuperation period. My mouth is hot, my tongue is definitely has spice, my lips as well, but it's certainly manageable. It's a little uncomfortable, probably still a little spicier than I would prefer, but it's really not so bad. The flavor was pretty good, not as much flavor as I was really hoping for. It just seemed like the 2x spicy was really much more flavorful, even though it was twice as hot, supposedly. I have a pack of 5 of these, which means I have 4 more. I am going to enjoy eating them. Definitely something I could eat for a regular lunch when I'm in the mood for something spicy. As far as the perfect ramen is concerned, I fear it is not quite that, but definitely worth a shot. I'm glad to give it a try. So Buldak, we meet again. Thanks for letting me try your 1x spicy. It's my own nickname, I guess. It doesn't say that anywhere. The search continues for the perfect ramen, but I'll enjoy the rest of this pack. Thanks for joining me, everybody, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Hey folks, it's your pal Bobby here, back today with a noodle review. And today we're checking out Nissin's hot and spicy Fire Wok Screamin Sichuan beef flavored noodles. Chili infused Asian noodles. Now usually this kind of packaging of noodle, there's nothing too fancy, but this package definitely has a lot going on here for it. Fire Wok, hot and spicy, chili infused Sichuan beef. My goodness, there's a lot going on, and I'm looking forward to trying this one out. We'll see how spicy this one is. It's 5 out of 6 chili peppers. That seems like it could be pretty hot. Usually items from the grocery store like this are pretty manageable, but I don't know, 5 out of 6 could be trouble. Checking out the back here. 390 calories with a nice pink nutrition label. Usually it's all white. Fiery and flavorful chili flakes are infused right into the noodles for more of the heat you crave every bite. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so I think we're just gonna get right to it here and try out these noodles and see how hot they are. Busting out the Elite Gourmet today. And while I'm waiting for that to cook, I feel like I just want to try some of these dried noodles because of the chili infusion and see if I can tell there's a difference between these and a normal noodle. It definitely tastes like there's a little something extra to it than a normal noodle, but I'm not 100% sure if you gave it to somebody, they wouldn't be like, oh yes, that's chili infused. It just tastes good. Okay, we have our seasoning here. For whatever reason, I really like when my noodles are a darker color, and this definitely is doing the trick in that regard. A darker colored noodles with an orange colored spice packet. If nothing else, I think it looks great. Alright folks, we've got it all mixed up here. I'm just going to let it cool off for a few moments and then we'll give it a try. Okay folks, it's about cooled off here, and I noticed that there's just a little bit of broth at the bottom. Actually, it might have disappeared. Just a little bit. I think I'm going to give this a try before chomping on some noodles. So, is this going to be very spicy? Definitely flavorful. Definitely a little bit of spice to it, even though it was such a small amount. There was more broth to this a moment ago, but it's kind of soaked into the noodles. I'm thinking by the time I get to these noodles, it's going to be packing a little bit of a punch. Even just that little bit of broth is already getting a little spicy in my mouth. Cheers. Definitely delicious. It's got kind of that standard ramen noodle, which is not bad, but it's nothing too crazy. Just your standard. But the sauce packet is definitely packing a punch. It's not too hot when you first bite it, but the more I'm talking, kind of building up a little bit. Tastes very good. Yeah, that's not too bad. This is a perfect amount of heat where it's just enough flavor. Not really going to be brutal to eat it. And I'll be honest, I wish I had a couple packets of these. A family member gave me this packet they came across. I think somehow they got it free at a grocery store, some sort of promo. It's very good. Very savory flavor to it. Spice is building up just a little bit. It's hot, but it's not too bad. If you're not a spice fan, this is already too hot for you, but this is very nice. Okay, folks, that was an excellent packet of noodles. Definitely is packing some punch. Hot indeed. The chili infused Asian noodles, I'm not sure if that really added a whole lot to it, but it definitely was a little more elaborate than your standard default noodles. The 5 out of 6 hot peppers here, I guess I'd say that's fair. It's definitely spicy. My mouth definitely can tell that I've had some spice, but it never really reaches the painful threshold, which is good. Nice balance of spice and flavor. I must admit, for just like a generic kind of ramen from Nissin, which is just kind of the run-of-the-mill, this was very good. Recommend it, absolutely. And I wish I had more than one packet. I would go to town. So alright folks, that's our review of hot and spicy Firewok Screamin' Sichuan Beef Ramen Noodles. Thanks for watching.
Spicy. How's it going, everyone? It's your pal Johnny O'Ryan here. Today we got a new video for you, and it's some spicy ramen. So this is a brand that's kind of a little well known on the internet for the spice challenges that people do. It's a 2x spicy ramen. It's made by a company, I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, but Buldak, B-U-L-D-A-K. And people like to do it. It's well known for being extra spicy. I like to eat these. I eat them for a good lunch now and then. But today, I think what we'll do for an extra spicy challenge, I'm going to make one package and use 2 of the spicy packages for a little extra heat. So we'll see how that goes. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use 1 noodle. I'm going to mix in the sauce package as directed to get cooked the noodles. But then I'll have it in a bowl and I will add in the second spice packet on top. I'm gonna save the other package of noodles and the flakes for a different time, and we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna get to the cooking, and when I return, I'll have the noodles ready. All right, folks. Now you see we got the noodles ready. They're steaming hot. I sauced the noodles in the pot per the instructions. But now we're gonna add our second hot sauce package on top for extra spice. Add the whole thing in here. Try to get as much as we can. We have some chopsticks, always good for ramen. Gonna mix this up a little bit. Try to spread it out. Now, like I said, I just cooked these, so they're gonna be pretty hot. I'm gonna eat everything. Hopefully it's not gonna burn my mouth, but we'll see. So I'm gonna work on eating this, and let's see how it goes. 4x spicy noodles. Here we go. Let me go in for the first bite. It looks like it's steaming. It's pretty good. The flavor on it's pretty nice. The heat hasn't quite kicked in yet. But let's see. I'm gonna keep going. Still going pretty well. Still not burning my mouth too much, so we'll keep going. Tasting pretty good so far. It's very saucy, as you can tell, since we added so much in. I would say the heat's kicking in a little bit, just because there's so much of it, but we still got a ways to go, so let's see. Still going pretty good. My mouth isn't in too much pain. It's certainly building up. I would say my stomach a large quantity of spice, so I kind of feel some spice going on there, but I think we're gonna finish it. I'm getting towards the end. There we go, folks. Pretty much done. Let's get this last little bit. All finished. Still, I got a lot on my shirt. Gonna have to wash this soon. So, still feeling pretty good, folks. Like I said, my stomach, I might need to grab something. But overall, not too shabby. My nose is running quite a bit. So there's definitely some spice level to it, but I think overall went pretty well. Ooh, now the spice is kicking in. Well, let me tell you, it's getting hot in here. You know what they say, folks. If it looks like Justin Timberlake's hair from the 90s, it's delicious. Alright, folks. That concludes today's video. And we'll catch you on the next one. How's it going, folks? It's your pal, Johnny O'Ryan here. And on today's episode of Compromise Culinary, we have some spicy ramen. We've had this featured before in our 4x spicy video. Go check it out. But today, we're gonna do something extra special. I happen to have more Buldak spicy sauce. So let's enhance our ramen spice. To start, we're going to be cooking up this package. We're going to cook the noodles for 5 minutes. Then we're going to mix in the sauce packet. There's also an extra flakes that I'm just going to eat as a snack while we cook. But then after, once we follow the regular instructions, we'll be adding some extra sauce to it as well. Let's get to it. Flakes. I actually don't like the flake package so much just because it's a sesame seed in it. It's not my favorite, so I just eat it. Add in some gloves in case we get spicy. All right, folks, we're coming up on our 5 minutes. I'm going to finish it off as the recipe says. I'm gonna cook in this packet and then we will get to it. So we have to drain the noodles and then stir fry a little bit at the end. We'll add some more. Let it thicken up a little bit more. Try to get as much of the sauce as we can. Hot noodles, folks. Add more on top. Hopefully this will help cool it actually a little bit. Might be a lot of slurping sounds. ASMR noodles. Let me give it a bite. It's pretty tasty. There's a lot of tomato flavor. That was a little appetizer course. Here in Compromise Culinary, we like to do it up. Now it's gonna be Buldak soup. Look at these noodles. Look at the sauce. Seems like it's gonna be a little spicy, folks. What do you think? Sure is thick. A thick sauce. Getting a lot of tomato. Very heavy on the tomato. Sorry for hitting the camera. I'm throwing the chopsticks around. I also might sniffle a lot. The spice is catching up to me. The real challenge here is just it's so thick. Especially as it's cooling. It's such a thick consistency. All right, the spice is heating up. This is maybe getting to be a little regrettable. Man. Here we go. Ooh, spice is real. Man, it is a little spicy. Whew. I'm just, ooh, the adrenaline's kicking in a little bit here. Oh man. The heat is lingering. It's definitely not the worst amount of heat I've ever had, but I just think the quantity's a little overwhelming. Ooh. Folks, sorry to say it, but I think I've been defeated. The heat is manageable. There's definitely a lot of stinging going on, but it's lingering. It's built up a little bit, and like I said, I think just the quantity, the thickness makes it very tough to get through. Ooh, as I'm talking, the stinging's getting worse. But I don't think I could go through the rest of this sauce. I think I have to throw in the towel. Don't worry, folks. I am gonna save this. I have some leftover rice that I'm gonna add it to. Food won't go to waste. However, I have to wave the flag and throw in the towel. Johnny Orion's been defeated on this challenge. All right, folks. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
You lose! Good day, sir!
Hey folks, it's your pal Bobby here, back today with a noodle review, and today we're checking out something quite extraordinary. S'mores Campfire flavored cup noodle ramen. Now, as you can see on the package, it says it's a limited edition, so luckily I was able to get my hands on a few cups of these. And to be truthful, I'm struggling to think of what even to say about this. Campfires and s'mores pretty much have nothing to do with ramen, as far as I know or ever could tell. Nissin, not sure how it's pronounced exactly, but I've definitely seen this brand before. I've obviously had cup noodles before, but obviously never S'mores Campfire. And I've never thought that, man, some ramen would be good right now as I'm sitting next to a campfire. There's really no explanation on the package as to why they even did this, but here I am, I gotta give it a try.
Usually one thing that you do with a cup of noodle like this is microwave the contents, but I'm going to do 2 of these packages at once, and I'm going to boil the water kind of just like normal. As you can see here on the front, just a s'more, a little marshmallow getting roasted over a nice fire with natural and artificial flavors, I'm sure. Taking a look at the ingredients, it's got a lot of random stuff in it. I think probably the most important part is just that the noodles are flour. I mean, it has so much stuff in it. I can't imagine that this is good for you. You know, for just trying it out, we'll be okay. Interesting enough, it has bioengineered food ingredients. I'm not sure what of this is bioengineered. And a warning, contains wheat, soybean, egg, and milk, I guess, if that's a concern of yours. So microwave instructions as per usual, but again, I'm going to boil it. And yeah, not a whole lot really going on here. In fact, at the bottom, it looks like they got some marshmallows in the ramen. I don't know if there will be a package of marshmallows inside to basically recreate the label, but enough talk. Let's find out. And well, no packet, but as you can clearly see here, there are some marshmallows in here. And I was expecting the sauce to not already be mixed in here like this. I thought it would be in a packet, but you can clearly see it looks to be all ready to go here, which is making me question whether I should boil this or not. Maybe we can try. I'm gonna try one of these marshmallows just to see what the heck this is all about. Oh my goodness. It's like a Lucky Charm marshmallow. I'm sure you're familiar with the Lucky Charm marshmallows, like save the best for last. That's exactly what this tastes like. Open up the second one here. It looks like more of the same, more marshmallows on top of this one. I still think I'm gonna try boiling it. So let's get out the Elite Gourmet and get to work. One cup's worth. What a sight to behold. An interesting thing to note as we're close to having this get to a boil is that the liquid just looks like hot chocolate. I mean, that's not really a stretch to say that, but you got the marshmallows bobbing up and down a little bit there. Got some of the frothy bubbles in the water. It looks like it's just hot chocolate with ramen noodles sticking out of it. Very strange. I think it's actually going to boil over. Alright folks, we are back with the situation mostly now under control. Things have cooled off a bit, and as you can see, some of the liquid has lessened, it is thickened up. So now I believe it is just time to give this a try. The noodles don't really look, anything different than what you would expect. But I'm gonna first try some of the broth, if you can call it a broth. Just to see. Doesn't look like much. Maybe if no one told you, you'd think it's some kind of beef broth. Let's try it. It tastes like hot chocolate, to be honest. It tastes good. It's sweet. It definitely kind of tastes like Swiss Miss hot chocolate mix. Obviously, this is not a mix because it's in the liquid, but yeah, that's what it comes to mind. So it really begs the question, is this going to taste like noodles and hot chocolate? And why would someone make noodles and hot chocolate? I'm not really too sure. I don't think that the noodles themselves are going to be anything too special, just because the sauce is not overly dripping on them. But next we'll take a bite of the noodles. I mean, it tastes like noodles in hot chocolate. I wish there was more really to say about this. It's not exemplary in any one direction. It's not too sweet. I'm not a big fan of sweet things, but the broth is has a little bit of sweet, but it's not overwhelming. I could see that if you were sitting by a campfire, you'd at least want to be drinking something that tasted like this, especially in the winter or something like that. But it's a little perplexing otherwise. I don't see any reason why these two things would be together, but here they are. It's time to eat. I decided to switch to a plate. Got some graham crackers here. Just let that soak in there a little bit. Best of both worlds. Not bad. Definitely a sweet endeavor here. It just is like noodles and hot chocolate. I know I've said that before, but that's truly what is coming to mind when I'm eating this. Well, alright, so there you have it. What to even say? It didn't taste repulsive to the point where it was difficult to eat, but it definitely wasn't good. Like, the flavors just didn't make a lot of sense, of course. The noodles are nothing special to begin with, and basically just putting them in hot chocolate doesn't really do anything for me. I also lost where those marshmallows got to. I think they just kind of probably puffed up and got mixed in with the noodles. I never even saw one of those marshmallows after the noodles were ready to eat. Would a kid like this, if you were going on a camping trip and bringing some kids? Yeah, I think they would probably get a kick out of it. They might be the biggest clientele for this kind of thing because the novelty would be more important to them maybe than anything. And even if it didn't taste that great, it still tasted kind of like hot chocolate, and they'd probably be happy with that. Another thing would be maybe if you're trying to just bring a joke item to an adult friend, just to, try it out and say, hey, look at this weird thing, let's try it. It's definitely worth a conversation piece, worth a laugh among some friends if you get your hands on these. But what's probably really going on here? Ask yourself when the last time you thought of cup noodles as a brand. Probably never, right? I certainly never did. I think probably they tried something zany just to see if it would help their sales, get people interested, get people to buy it, get people talking. It's basically free advertisement for them to say, hey, did you hear this weird product, S'mores Campfire, that cup noodles released? So, was there anything campfire about it? No, not at all. There was nothing smoky to it. There was no campfire anything. It was basically just the sweetness from the marshmallow and the sweetness from the hot chocolate kind of broth. There you have it, folks. My cup noodle Campfire S'mores review. It's always fun to try things out, but yeah, just a gimmick. Definitely not that great, but that's just my opinion. If you can get your hands on these, definitely worth a try, if nothing else, just for the laugh. This has been your pal Bobby with another noodle review. Thanks for watching. Hey folks, it's your pal Bobby here, back today with a noodle review. And this package might look a little familiar to you. This is actually the third and probably final video we have done on Buldak 2x spicy ramen noodles. Johnny Orion did the 4-time spicy Buldak. He did what we called the 20-time spicy Buldak. But he was not able to finish that particular challenge. And when I had seen Johnny last time, he gave me a pack of these to try on my own so that I could see how it was for myself. Now, Johnny's definitely the more of the spice fan between the two of us, so for him to eat something like this, it's not really too out of character. For me though, I'm not that big of a fan of too much spice, but just for sake of completeness and really exploring this topic about as much as we can, I'm gonna give it a try and see what I think. Someone who's not as into something spicy as maybe Johnny is. So let's give this a try and we'll see if it's something for my palate. The package kind of exploded on me when I opened it, but it comes with the noodles here, the overall sauce packet, and then the extra special flakes that I'll be adding as well. Busting out the Elite Gourmet today. A nice rolling boil. Alright folks, I think we're in pretty good shape to add the sauce and the flakes. We've turned the heat off, but it's still pretty hot from the boiling water, so just giving it an extra little fry in a slight amount of liquid as recommended. Looks like a sesame seed and seaweed flake packet. Okay folks, here we have our lovely noodles. Let's let it cool off for a moment and we'll give it a try. Okay folks, I think we've let a sufficient amount of time go by for this to cool off. And before I give this a try, I really just wanted to note that I am in love with the color that the sauce makes these noodles. When I think of ramen noodles, this is pretty much the exact color I want it to be. It just looks so inviting. I don't know why I feel so strongly in that way, but it's just such a nice color. So if nothing else, I would say it has that going for it. But I guess we've had enough time stirring our noodles here and talking about it. It's time to give this a try. Will this be a spicy option for me? Will I be able to finish the bowl? Or will it be too much? Bon appetit. Okay, the first bite, I mean, ooh, it's pretty spicy. Definitely has hit my tongue. It's even hit the inside of my cheeks. One thing it has not really done is hit the back of my throat, so I think it has already given me hiccups with just one bite. That's usually not a good sign, but the flavor is very good. You can definitely still taste some flavor, even though the spice is definitely the most powerful thing you taste. Let's keep going, see if I can finish this off or collapse from hiccups. The noodles are nice and thick. They're very good. I'm not 100% sure how something so spicy can have a delicious flavor along with it. Usually, when something's very spicy, it overpowers the flavor almost completely. It's a difficult balance between trying to enjoy the flavor and chewing it versus just eating it to get the spice out of your mouth. The spice is hitting my stomach as well. It's not overly painful, but I can just tell that my stomach feels spicy. Before the heat hits you, it's just so delicious. Crossfire. Oh. Whew, well, I definitely finished it. My mouth is definitely on fire. I think I'll hang out for a few minutes and just see if this subsides and give you an update. Whew. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I've had about 5 or so roughly minutes of recuperation time. I'm doing okay. My mouth is still watering. My mouth is still very spicy. My stomach is very spicy. My eyes started to water a little bit at some point, and a little bit of sweat I could feel dripping down the back of my head. And I definitely don't think it's because it's hot in here or even warm in here. I was also getting a little lightheaded during my recuperation time. I'm not 100% sure if that was because I was breathing pretty heavily or if the adrenaline was kind of kicking in and making me feel that way. Completely unrelated, we've been drawing and looking at this chicken character for a long time, but I never knew his name was apparently Hochi or Hockey. This is very spicy. I like to think of myself as a little above average in my spice enjoyment and tolerance, and this was very hot. Not to the point of I felt I was in danger or anything crazy like that. However, it was just very uncomfortable to basically sit through that recuperation time, and my mouth is still hot as a result right now. So if you're not a fan of spice, this is definitely not for you. But I will say that the flavor, somehow, the flavor was absolutely delicious. If there was a ramen, and I'm sure there very well could be, I haven't done my research yet. If there was a flavor like this with these type of noodles but without so much spice, that would almost be my perfect ramen. I can't even describe the flavor. It's just very rich, very savory, and it's just very good. Maybe my vision is helping me think that way because I really enjoy the color of the sauce on the noodles. And the noodles themselves are very high quality, thick ramen noodles. This is not your bottom of the barrel stuff like you could get at a dollar store or whatever. Overall, I'm glad I got to try this. I probably would not do this again for pleasure. This is not something I would want to eat just because I'm hungry. It's too hot for that. But if you're a high tolerance spice fan, then it could be for you. The flavor and the noodle quality is really good. So all right, ladies and gentlemen, I guess that's all we have to say. Thanks, Johnny, for lending me this pack of ramen so that I could give it my own review. And after 3 videos about this particular type of ramen and flavor, maybe we're finished exploring this topic. Never say never. Thanks very much, guys, for joining me. This has been your pal Bobby. You are one spicy noodle, my friend. We'll see you next time.
Hey folks, it's your pal Bobby here, back today with, you guessed it, another noodle review. And today we're checking out Samyang's Buldak Tom Yum artificial spicy chicken flavor ramen, Thai style. It says it gives a Thai style spicy and sour soup taste. So I'm not sure how that will translate to ramen, but I'm excited to try. Now you know me folks, I've been trying all the Buldak flavors I can get my hands on. So I think by now you know what to expect. Same kind of looking packaging here. Looks like there's a little lime and was that ginger leek and a pepper there. So I'm curious how this Thai style will translate to a spicy ramen. Will it even be spicy? And on the back, your standard stuff here, a ridiculous amount of ingredients such that I'm not going to worry about it. Good chunk, 500 plus calories. Of course, an absolutely catastrophic amount of sodium at 82% of your daily intake for about 25% of the calories for the day. Made in South Korea, of course, with some cooking instructions. Heat the water, add the noodles. Even tells you where to store it. I mean, really, they're doing almost everything except cooking it for you. Alright folks, I'm hungry. This is my breakfast, and we're gonna check out how the Thai-style spicy and sour translates over to ramen. Nice large hockey puck of noodles. I think they might be the thicker ones that I like from Buldak. And boy, we have a lot of stuff here. Look at this. We have powder. Doesn't really say what, just powder. A sauce, of course. And our flake packet. Looks to be some of your standard kind of dried vegetables for flakes. I think I'll probably add that. Busting out the Elite Gourmet today. First, the sauce. Next up is the powder. And the flakes. Alright folks, everything's all cooled off and I'm starving. Nothing more to say, let's try it. Cheers. Very interesting. I think... Ooh. Whoa. I think the first thing I tasted was ginger. And then, it's hard to describe, but the powder. It has to be the powder that's on here. It's almost like flavor crystals. I think it's a very sweet kind of taste. And then the heat comes from underneath it. That is a combination of flavors. Wow. Ginger right away. And then the odd sensation from that powder, followed by the heat. Same bite. Same three things on the second bite. Interesting. It's good. It's spicy. It's not too bad. My mouth's starting to get a little hot, but I think it's going to be manageable. I think I only have one of this flavor, but if I were to try it again, I think maybe I would try with just half of that powder. It doesn't taste bad, but it really pops out at you. And it's almost a little at odds with the rest of the flavors a little bit. And I know that's what they're going for, the spicy and sour. I'm not sure they got sour quite right with that powder, but it's more of like they're trying to emulate the taste of sour artificially, but it's not actually sour. It doesn't taste bad. Ooh. Yeah, every time you bite into this, that powder, it doesn't let you forget about it. It's almost, it's not too sweet like candy, but it's almost, the taste that comes from it's almost like an artificial candy where you think like, wow, there's way too much flavor in this to be normal. Spice is still going. Whew.
but I don't think it's too bad. Definitely, if you don't like spice, it's already too hot for you. But if you're accustomed to spice, I think this is on the lower side. It's still a little bit painful. Whew, all right, well, what do I think of the Tom Yum Thai style Buldak spicy chicken ramen? It's definitely hot. In fact, the more I was eating it, the more it was hitting me. It's burning my mouth quite a bit right now as I talk. I don't think it's going to get much worse than it is right now, but it's kind of bordering uncomfortable. So I would say you have to be not adverse to spice for this one. One thing about Buldak noodles is that whenever I try it for the very first time, I always put in all of the ingredients, all the sauce, all the flakes. But then as I do that, I notice that there's some tweaks I could have made. And I think this one's no different. So what tweaks would I have made with this particular flavor? I think I maybe would have skipped the flakes. I don't think that they really added anything. And I even had to take one out that was just kind of like too chewy. The powder, I think I would try half of the powder. It was a little too overwhelming of a artificial sense. I mean, I've never quite had a taste like that. It's worth trying one time. But I think if I were to eat a whole package of 5 of these or something like that, I would need about half of that powder and then reevaluate from there. And truthfully, I think I would also go for about maybe 75% of the hot sauce and try to dial it back until it's maybe just a little less uncomfortable. But overall, this was very good. Very unique. I've never quite had ramen like this. So when I was curious how they were going to do the Thai style, well, they did it. I'm not sure if it was absolutely flawless execution, but it was certainly unique, and that powder flavor pops out at you. Worth a try. And it's funny, you can see the ginger on the package, and that was definitely the first thing I would taste every bite until the heat just took over. So alright guys, great way to start the day. Nice spicy ramen breakfast. This has been your pal. I definitely recommend these if you can handle some spice. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Hey folks, it's your pal Bobby here. Today we're gonna make a real Bobby classic. A nice ramen sandwich. Got all our ingredients here. The one-time spicy Buldak that we know we like, a little spicy though. Some jalapeno pieces for garnish, some bread of course, and a nice hunk of American cheese. Let's get started. Busting out the Elite Gourmet today. Looks like we're ready. We're going to add in the sauce, but we're going to save just a little bit of it for later. I've got the heat off, but it's still warm from before, so we're going to let that fry up while I mix in the sauce. Onto the sandwich preparation station. Don't forget the flakes. Get yourself a nice roll and cut it long ways. Get some of that sauce from before and use it as your condiment. Line it with some American cheese. And you're almost done. While the ramen's still hot, get a nice big wallop of it, get it onto that sandwich, and it'll help melt the cheese. Garnish on top with some crispy jalapeno. Once the garnish is in place, you're ready to enjoy. Bon appetit!
I love this. The cheese on the bread really makes the ramen come together in a nice portable serving. Let's add some more cheese. Amazing and delicious. I suggest you give this a try and let me know what you think. This has been your pal Bobby with a classic Bobby ramen sandwich. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next time. Hey folks, it's your pal Bobby here, back today with another noodle review. I'm trying them all, and today we're checking out Samyang's Buldak Habanero Lime Spicy Chicken Flavored Ramen. Now, as a general rule of thumb in a Mexican style setting, as our friend here is kind of depicting, habanero and lime is very delicious together, but I don't think I've ever had it in the context of ramen. And this is a very nice package, very bright purple, not really a color you think of with ramen. But everything's looking pretty good. If that's a little sprig of cilantro there, then I'm all in. Cilantro and lime together really enhance things. Let's open this up and take a look at the individual package and see how Samyang does, I guess, a Mexican take on ramen noodles. Individual packaging looks pretty similar to the overall. And compared to the other Buldak packages, not a whole lot going on. We can see the nutrition where there's always about 500 calories and always too much sodium. And some cooking instructions from our friend. Apply the heat, cook the noodles, put in the sauce. And I just realized there's a little sprig of cilantro right there as well. Very nice. Okay folks, we have the brick of noodles. Of course we have our flavor packet, and I wonder what's in this one. The package probably says it, but any habanero flakes perhaps? Let's take a look. Busting out the Elite Gourmet today. Alright folks, we are back and things have been cooled off for a few minutes and it's looking pretty good. I'm not sure if that's an orange color or what exactly, but it's nice and dark. And you know me folks, for whatever reason I like that. In a ramen noodle sauce, I think we are just ready to try this habanero lime, oh my, ramen. Bon appetit. The first thing is spice. The spice hits you right away. Somehow it almost does taste like the flavor you would have in a burrito. Is it like a smoked paprika kind of? I don't know, that's a tough one, but somehow they have it tasting like a Mexican dish. The flakes are kind of just dry and crunchy. I don't think I would add the flakes again next time. It has like this very low-toned beef burrito flavor, and I don't know how else to describe it other than that. There's the low tone of the beef burrito flavor, the spice presumably from habanero, Not sure much else. I mean, it tastes pretty good. Okay, so what do I think of that overall? It definitely tasted good, but I think my personal preference would steer me away from this one. It's definitely spicy. My stomach is feeling the spice. My tongue is feeling the spice. My mouth is kind of watering right now as I'm even just talking here. I don't think that these are the thick noodles that I usually enjoy. So, you know, not that the thin ones are bad, but that's just my preference to have the thicker ones. And for me, having your ramen noodles kind of flirt towards a Mexican cuisine type of flavor, just that's not my preference. I don't think, like I said, there was like a beef burrito kind of undertone to the whole thing, and it definitely tasted okay, but that's usually not what I'm going for when I'm thinking of ramen. So that's just me. As far as spice goes, it's spicy. If you're not a spice fan, this is probably already too much for you. I don't think I got really any cilantro or lime in there. I think the habanero spice really just overpowered most anything other than the burrito taste. So I have a pack of 4. It was a pack of 5 total. I have 4 more. I'll definitely eat them and enjoy them. Personally, I'll probably put less of this whole sauce packet in, maybe 50% or 75%, and see if that's not overwhelming. It's not painful, but it's not pleasant. This is actually a little too much for me if I'm just looking to enjoy a meal, but it's not painful overall. Well, alright folks, that does it for us. If you're looking for something different, give these a try. It's definitely not bad to try it out and see what you think. But for me, the Mexican beef burrito, I'll save that to Mexican cuisines and beef burritos, I guess. I'll eat the other 4 and enjoy them. Probably will pick up a different kind anytime I'm looking for some Buldak. Alright folks, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.